Good morning, afternoon everyone. Today we're going to embark on a journey through time to explore the heart of Europe and uncover the story of how a nation was forged. We're talking about Germany. When we think of Germany today, we might picture a modern economic powerhouse, a leader in engineering, or a country with a rich cultural heritage of music, philosophy, and fairy tale castles. But the unified Germany we know is, in the grand scheme of European history, a surprisingly young nation. For most of its history, the land we call Germany was a fractured mosaic of hundreds of states, a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, and free cities, all with their own rulers, laws, and ambitions. So how did this fragmented collection of states become one of the most powerful empires on the continent? It wasn't a simple or peaceful process. It was a story that unfolded over centuries, driven by devastating wars, revolutionary ideas, economic ingenuity, and the sheer political will of one of history's most formidable figures. Over the next 40 minutes, we will travel from the ancient forests of Germania to the glittering Hall of Mirrors in Versailles. We'll examine the Holy Roman Empire, feel the shockwaves of the Protestant Reformation and Napoleon's conquests, and witness the rise of a militaristic state called Prussia. Finally, we'll dive deep into the era of the Iron Chancellor, Otto von Bismarck, and the 3 wars he masterfully orchestrated to unite a nation, not through votes and speeches, but through iron and blood. This is the story of the formation of Germany.
Night falls, the sky lights up, stars shining, never stop. Moon glows, dreams afloat in the dark. Hope is found. City lights fade away. Out in space we drift and sway. Galaxies far and wide. Starlight, our only guide. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sign. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea, in the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit. In every star, a dream within. Journey on through the night, with each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sign. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea, in the infinity. Sky's the limit, and every star a dream within it. Journey on through the night, with each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment, such a sign. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night, and they glow in bright.
To understand the Germany of the 19th century, we must first look back, way back. The concept of a German people began long before any notion of a German state. In the time of the Roman Empire, the lands east of the Rhine River were known as Germania. It was a wild, forested territory inhabited by numerous tribes: the Goths, the Vandals, the Franks, who the Romans viewed as fierce, undisciplined barbarians. The Romans, for all their military might, could never fully conquer these tribes. The pivotal moment came in the year 9 AD at the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. Here, an alliance of Germanic tribes, led by Arminius, ambushed and annihilated 3 Roman legions. This devastating defeat effectively halted Roman expansion eastward and created a cultural and linguistic boundary, the Rhine, that would shape Europe for centuries. It was the first faint whisper of a collective German identity, defined in opposition to Rome. The next major chapter in our story begins with an empire builder, Charlemagne. In the year 800, this powerful Frankish king was crowned Emperor of the Romans by the Pope. His vast Carolingian empire united much of modern-day France, Italy, and crucially, the German-speaking lands. It was the first time since the fall of Rome that this region experienced a degree of centralised rule. But this unity was short-lived. After Charlemagne's death, his empire was divided among his grandsons. The eastern portion, known as East Francia, would become the nucleus of the future Germany. It was from this entity that the Holy Roman Empire emerged in the 10th century. Now, the name Holy Roman Empire is famously misleading. As the philosopher Voltaire later joked, it was neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. It wasn't a centralised state like ancient Rome. Instead, it was a highly decentralised, complex political entity. The emperor was an elected monarch, chosen by a small group of powerful princes known as electors. But his real power was often limited. The empire was, in reality, a collection of hundreds of semi-independent states. There were kingdoms like Bohemia, powerful duchies like Bavaria and Saxony, and wealthy free imperial cities like Hamburg and Frankfurt. For centuries, this was the political reality in Central Europe. There was no single Germany. If you were from this region, you wouldn't say, "I'm German." You'd say, "I'm Bavarian," "I'm Saxon," or "I'm a citizen of Cologne." Your loyalty was to your local prince, not to a distant emperor or a non-existent nation. This deep-seated tradition of regional independence, or Kleinstaaterei, small statism, is absolutely critical to understanding why German unification was so difficult and took so long.
Night falls, the sky lights up, stars shining, never stop. Moon glows, dreams afloat in the dark. Hope is found. City lights fade away. Out in space we drift and sway. Galaxies far and wide. Starlight, our only guide. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment, such a planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea, in the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit. In every star, a dream within. Journey on through the night, with each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sight. Ooh. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea, in the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit, and every star a dream within it. Journey on through the night, with each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sight. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow, in bright.
If the Holy Roman Empire was already fragmented, the 16th century brought a seismic shock that would shatter it even further: the Protestant Reformation. In 1517, a German monk named Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to a church door in Wittenberg, protesting practices of the Catholic Church. This act of religious dissent spiraled into a revolution that split the German states along religious lines. Princes and cities chose sides, some remaining Catholic, loyal to the Emperor and the Pope, while others adopted Lutheranism, seizing church lands and asserting their independence. Religion became intertwined with politics, adding another layer of bitter division to the already complex map. These tensions culminated in the most catastrophic event in early German history, the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. It began as a religious conflict, but soon devolved into a brutal continental struggle for power, fought mainly on German soil. Armies from Sweden, France, Spain, and Denmark marched across the land, leaving devastation in their wake. By the time the war ended with the Peace of Westphalia, the German lands were ruined. Some estimates suggest that up to a third of the population had perished. The war was a national trauma, but politically its outcome was clear. The emperor's power was broken, and the individual German states were now recognised as sovereign entities, able to form their own alliances and policies. The dream of a unified, centralised Holy Roman Empire was dead forever. Out of these ashes, however, a new power began to emerge in the north. It was the Electorate of Brandenburg, which would soon be known to the world as the Kingdom of Prussia. Initially a minor state, Prussia's fortunes changed under the rule of the Hohenzollern dynasty. They were disciplined, ambitious, and understood the realities of power in a dangerous world. Leaders like Frederick William, the Great Elector, built a highly efficient, centralised bureaucracy and, most importantly, a formidable standing army. As was famously said, Prussia is not a state with an army, but an army with a state. Under Frederick the Great in the mid-18th century, Prussia transformed into a major European power. Frederick was a brilliant military strategist who famously challenged the dominant Austrian Habsburgs for control of the German states. Prussia was Protestant, ethnically mostly German, and known for its military prowess and bureaucratic efficiency. Austria, led by the Habsburg dynasty, was Catholic and a vast multi-ethnic empire, including Hungarians, Slavs, and Italians. These two states, Prussia and Austria, became the two competing poles of power in the German-speaking world. Any future attempt at unification would have to answer a fundamental question. Would a future Germany be led by Catholic Austria or by Protestant Prussia? This rivalry would define the next century of German history.
Night falls, the sky lights up, stars shining, never stop. Moon glows, dreams afloat in the dark. Hope is found. City lights fade away. Out in space we drift and sway. Galaxies far and wide. Starlight, our only guide. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sign. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea. In the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit. In every star, a dream within. Journey on through the night. With each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sign. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea. In the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit. And every star a dream within it. Journey on through the night, with each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright, every moment such a sight. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night, and they glow in bright.
The old fractured order of the Holy Roman Empire might have continued for decades, had it not been for an external force that stormed across Europe, Napoleon Bonaparte. At the beginning of the 19th century, Napoleon's armies swept through the German states. They were a revolutionary force. In 1806, after a humiliating defeat of the Prussians and Austrians, Napoleon formally dissolved the Holy Roman Empire. After nearly 1,000 years of existence, the First Reich was consigned to history. Napoleon redrew the map of Germany. He consolidated hundreds of tiny states into a more manageable number, creating the Confederation of the Rhine, a satellite state of France. For the first time, large parts of Germany were under a single modern legal code and administration. But French occupation came at a price. The German people were forced to pay heavy taxes and provide soldiers for Napoleon's wars. This foreign domination, this shared experience of humiliation and subjugation, had an unintended consequence. It sparked the birth of German nationalism. For the first time, intellectuals, poets, and philosophers began to argue that Germans were not just Bavarians or Saxons, but members of a single people, a folk, united by a common language, culture, and history. Thinkers like Johann Gottlieb Fichte delivered addresses to the German nation, urging people to see beyond their local princes and embrace a shared German identity. The idea of a unified German fatherland, free from foreign control, became a powerful and emotional force, especially among the educated middle class and university students. After Napoleon's final defeat at Waterloo in 1815, the great powers of Europe met at the Congress of Vienna to restore order. But they could not turn back the clock. The Holy Roman Empire was gone. In its place, they created the German Confederation, a loose association of 39 German states. This confederation was a disappointment for the nationalists. It was designed not to unite Germany, but to keep it weak and divided, maintaining a balance of power in Europe. Its leadership was dominated by Austria, whose conservative chancellor, Metternich, was deeply opposed to the dangerous ideas of nationalism and liberalism. The dream of a unified nation-state seemed as far away as ever.
Night falls, the sky lights up, stars shining, never stop. Moon glows, dreams afloat in the dark. Hope is found. City lights fade away. Out in space we drift and sway. Galaxies far and wide. Starlight, our only guide. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sight. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around in the quiet. in the stars. We are free. Infinity. Sky's the limit. In every star, a dream within. Journey on through the night. With each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sight. Ooh. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow we take flight. Planets spin all around. In the quiet, there's no sound. Milky Way, endless sea. In the stars, we are free. Infinity, sky's the limit. In every star, a dream within it. Journey on through the night. With each star burning bright. Stars in the sky, so high, so bright. Every moment such a sight. Stars in the sky, lighting up the night. In their glow, in bright.
Despite the political setbacks, the seeds of unity were being sown in another field, economics. In 1834, Prussia established the Zollverein, or German Customs Union. This union removed tariffs and trade barriers between most of the German states, creating a free trade zone. Austria, seeing it as a Prussian power play, refused to join. The Zollverein was a stroke of genius. It economically unified a large part of Germany long before political unification was possible. It created integrated markets, standardized weights and measures, and fueled the Industrial Revolution in the German lands. Businesses and merchants began to see the immense benefits of unity. And all of this economic integration happened under Prussian leadership. Prussia, not Austria, was paving the road to the future. The next major push for unification came from the people themselves. In 1848, a wave of revolutions, the springtime of peoples, swept across Europe. In the German states, liberals and nationalists rose up, demanding constitutional government and a unified Germany. Delegates from all over Germany convened at the Frankfurt Parliament. Their goal was to write a constitution for a united, liberal and democratic German nation. After months of debate, they produced a constitution and offered the imperial crown to the King of Prussia, Frederick William IV. But in a moment of historic arrogance, the king rejected the offer. He famously called it a crown from the gutter, offered by shopkeepers and commoners. As a monarch who believed in the divine right of kings, he would not accept a crown from an elected parliament. With his refusal, the Frankfurt Parliament collapsed and the liberal revolution failed. The attempt to unify Germany from the bottom up, through democratic means, had been crushed. It became clear that if Germany were to be united, it would not be through speeches and votes, it would be through power politics. And the man for that job was about to step onto the stage. His name was Otto von Bismarck. Appointed Minister-President of Prussia in 1862, Bismarck was the embodiment of a new political philosophy, realpolitik. This was politics based on practical, material factors and power, not on ideology or ethics. Bismarck was a conservative aristocrat, deeply loyal to the Prussian king. He had no time for liberalism or democracy. His goal was simple: to unite Germany under Prussian leadership, preserving the power of the monarchy and the aristocracy. In a now legendary speech, he told the Prussian parliament, "The great questions of the day will not be decided by speeches and majority decisions. That was the great mistake of 1848 and 1849, but by iron and blood." Bismarck's plan was to achieve unification through a series of carefully calculated wars. He would use Prussian military strength to eliminate his rivals, isolate his enemies diplomatically, and ignite German nationalism to rally the people behind the Prussian cause. The first step was the war with Denmark in 1864. Over the disputed territories of Schleswig-Holstein, Bismarck cleverly drew Austria in as an ally. So after a swift victory, Prussia took control of Schleswig and Austria took Holstein. But Bismarck knew this joint administration was a trap, designed to provoke future conflict with Austria. The main event came in 1866, the Austro-Prussian War. Bismarck manufactured a dispute over the administration of Holstein and provoked Austria into declaring war. Most of the German states, fearful of Prussia's power, sided with Austria. But they were no match for the modernized Prussian army. With its superior generalship, use of railways for rapid mobilization, and advanced needle guns, Prussia crushed the Austrians in a decisive battle at Königgrätz. The war lasted only 7 weeks. Bismarck's terms were lenient. He did not seek to humiliate Austria or take its territory. He only wanted one thing: for Austria to be excluded from German affairs forever. The old German Confederation was dissolved. In its place, Prussia created the North German Confederation, uniting all the states north of the main river under its control. The southern German states, Bavaria, Württemberg, Baden, remained independent, Catholic, and wary of Protestant Prussia. Bismarck knew he needed one final catalyst to bring them into the fold. He needed a common, external enemy. That enemy was France. The final act was the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 to 1871. The French Emperor, Napoleon III, was alarmed by the sudden rise of Prussia and looked for a way to curb its power. Bismarck expertly played on French fears and German nationalism. He provoked a diplomatic crisis over the Spanish succession, and then, with the infamous Ems dispatch, edited a telegram from the Prussian king to make it sound as if the king had insulted the French ambassador. Nationalist fury erupted in Paris. France, feeling its honour had been slighted, foolishly declared war on Prussia. This was exactly what Bismarck wanted. The French were cast as the aggressors, and the southern German states, bound by secret military alliances and swept up in a wave of patriotic fervour, immediately joined Prussia's cause. Once again, the Prussian war machine proved devastatingly effective. The German armies invaded France, captured Napoleon III at the Battle of Sedan, and laid siege to Paris. The victory was total and overwhelming. With the cheers of victory still echoing, the German princes gathered, not in Berlin, but in a location chosen for its immense symbolic power, the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles, the historic seat of French absolutism and a symbol of French glory. On January 18th, 1871, in the lavish hall that had witnessed the triumphs of French kings, the German Empire, the Second Reich, was proclaimed. King Wilhelm I of Prussia was declared German Emperor, or Kaiser. Bismarck, the architect of this new nation, stood by as the man of iron and blood, who had finally achieved what generations of poets and politicians could not. By proclaiming the empire in the palace of their defeated enemy, the Germans announced their arrival as the new dominant power on the European continent. The new Germany was a federal monarchy. The 25 states retained their own local governments, but national policy, especially military and foreign affairs, was firmly in the hands of the Prussian-dominated central government and its powerful chancellor, Bismarck. The unification of Germany fundamentally altered the balance of power in Europe. A new, powerful, industrialised and militaristic nation had appeared in the centre of the continent, creating new anxieties in London, Paris and St. Petersburg. For the next 2 decades, Bismarck would act as the brilliant, if cautious, statesman of Europe, skillfully navigating a complex web of alliances to preserve peace and protect his new creation. So as we conclude, what have we seen? We've seen that the formation of Germany was not a single event, but a long and arduous process. It was a journey from the tribal loyalties of ancient Germania to the fractured feudalism of the Holy Roman Empire. It was shaped by the religious schism of the Reformation and shattered by the 30 Years' War. It was ironically sparked by the conquests of a French emperor, and it was dreamed of by liberal revolutionaries who ultimately failed. In the end, it was forged not by popular will, but from above, by the cold, calculated, realpolitik of Prussia and its Iron Chancellor. The unification of 1871 was the triumph of Prussian military might, economic foresight, and Bismarck's ruthless diplomatic genius. It created a powerful nation-state that would go on to shape the course of the 20th century in ways no one could have imagined on that winter day at Versailles. The story of Germany's formation is a powerful lesson in how nations are made, a complex interplay of culture, economics, ideas, and ultimately the undeniable force of power. Thank you.
Night falls, the sky lights up, stars shining, never stop. Moon glows, dreams afloat in the dark. Hope is found. City lights fade away. Out in space we drift and sway. Galaxies far and wide. Starlight, our only guide. Stars in the sky so